Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all for coming out for the Tuesday, June 18th Mississippi Advisory Commission meeting from Marine Resources. This morning, I'm going to ask Commissioner Osborne to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, Mr. Joe, you want to start us off?
Yeah, and first off, I want to thank everybody, and I want to remember Patrick today. Patrick lost his uncle yesterday, and his uncle was very close to him. And I know Patrick's going to have to go out to Arizona for long, but keep him and his family in your prayers, okay? Let's go to the Lord. Heavenly Father, thank you for everything you do for us. Lord, we just blessed to have you to lead us and guide us and direct us. And we just ask that you listen to you, Lord, and give us the wisdom to do that, and give us the wisdom to listen to you and do it your way and not ours. We ask this in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
All right. Minutes from May 21st, 2024. Do we have any discussion on that? Motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Do we have any discussion on today's agenda? Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, Mr. Joe, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. First off, we'll start out with employment contracts. See what we have here. Dylan Kesson was promoted to Master Sergeant, and we got a new hire, Catherine Wright, and she's in ENRS 2 in the Office of Marine Fisheries. Okay. No contracts, I don't think we have. All right, as far as agency update, first off, if you have public comment, TJ's in the back, please, get something to him, and we'll be glad to put it in the right spot here. Update on, we'll be closed on, what? I don't know why she got May 22nd on here, but she has, we closed on May 22nd. But this is last time's agenda, I think. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, Tideland's application started on 31 May and will end in July the 1st. Go Mesa the same way. So make sure you get those applications out. And let's make sure that if you get them in, and we can put them in. We're trying to get a portal made for the Go Mesa so that you'll be able to go out and see what's in the Go Mesa and what's been funded and what hadn't been funded. And then so that way you'll be out there and open to everyone. A billfish tournament. Boy, it was great. I tell you what, 670 pounds, great fish, a lot of fish. I think somewhere in the neighborhood of 40, 50 billfish were caught, which was quite a bit. And we had we had 92 boats that went out that morning. And even the governor of Louisiana was here. And the governor even fished, and he caught a billfish. And it's on video if you want to see it. It's out there on his website somewhere, or somebody's website. But he was very gracious to us. The team did a fantastic job cooking for him that night. And I tell you what, I've heard nothing but people just praising about the food. I was talking to I can't remember the guy's name. He owns the boat Relentless, that little small 160 footer,
Mm-hmm.
But and the governor was staying on it, and I was talking to him. He said I come to 3 tournaments a year in the Gulf of Mexico, and one of them's Biloxi. He said I'm going to make sure that we come to the Gulf Coast because he said it's one of the best tournaments we've ever been to, and he fishes the rest of the time. He does two others, and then he goes out into the Atlantic and fishes there. But he was talking about it and others, and I walked around the tables, and when people were sitting down that night, And everywhere I went, they said this is the best fishing tournament in the Gulf, and we love it, and we want to be here, and we got to come. And they all love the food, so hats off to all our team that cooked and everything else, and thank y'all for the ones who worked there. We gave out Charmaine and them. We had some. We should have got. Have we got any of those left? Maybe get the commissioners one. You know, gave them advisors for it and all. Any questions on the billfish? We'll sponsor it again next year. I think it's a great deal because it's Gulf seafood, and that's exactly what we did, and people really enjoyed it. Gulf Council will be next week, and me and Rick will be headed over there, so it's in Houston. We'll see what happens over in Houston next week. I don't know. And right now, it's nothing really big pressing going on, but we'll see how it turns out. We'll be closed Independence Day and the day after. The governor gave the 5th of July off also, and so we'll be closed both days, except for Marine Patrol. They won't never be closed. You know, they'll be out there in the middle of it. And I'm sure some fisheries people will be working too the same way. The next commission meeting is scheduled for July the 16th. Commissioner Osborne, I know you have a conflict with that, and but we can get you a call in for it, if that's all right. Did any other conflicts with it? We'll plan on doing that. All right, license at 65. You know, I've been talking to Rick and Patrick about this. Wildlife doesn't charge or doesn't require you to have a license at age 65 or above, but we do. It seems that this is a very good thing. Talking to Rick and them this morning, even if we, you know, it gives us a number of the people that are actually fishing saltwater, and it's something different than what happens. The numbers, we don't have to have a number of how many people are catching bass. We don't have to have a number of how many people are catching crappie. We have to have a number of how many people are catching certain foods in the Gulf of Mexico. So I was very hard over, being an old guy myself, I'm thinking, why would we be why? But I think after listening to them, it might be something we need to keep going with. I don't know the price is minimum. It's $8 for a lifetime. So I'm not sure that that's hurting anybody. If it is, I think we can work it out and, help them if that's the case. But it does help you because, especially with the offshore landing permit, a fishing permit for that. If you don't have that, and you're not required to have a license to fish or hunt inside the state waters here as far as the freshwater, then you have no number to put on to be able to get that permit. And so that's another issue that we need to look at. So I think right now, and I was going to bring it up. It's on my calendar, and I've been asked by several people, why do we have to have it at 65 in saltwater over, the regular? Now, I did find out that Rick was showing me this morning that Wildlife has an option that you can buy one, but you don't have to. But I think we need to, unless y'all got some other issues on it, I think we need to stay the way we are. If it's hurting somebody for the $8, then we can work that out. I think that's not the issue. It's more for the reporting is what we need it for. We need it for the reporting more than anything. Any questions on that? It's been brought up to me a couple of times now. All right, there's a thing called hurricane season. It's here.
Mm-hmm.
It's here, but we'll just see what happens. There's already been a couple of little disturbances out there. We'll just see what happens with it. It's in the Lord's hands, not ours. But what's going to happen is going to happen. Just be prepared. And if you're a boat owner and you have a big boat, especially, please find yourself a plan. Have yourself a plan to be able to move that boat and be able to take care of it and secure it. We'll talk about derelict vessels in a minute, but we get quite a few of those. But if, don't make yours be a derelict vessel. Take care of your boat. Do like you would with your camper or anything else. Shrimp season update. Tracy, do you have anything on that? Jason? Is that part of your brief? If it is, we'll hold off. I don't know. Is it part of your brief?
Good morning, Commissioners. Just a quick update. Through May, we had about 1.5 million pounds landed in Mississippi for the calendar year so far, at a dockside value of about 1.8 million. That's typically low for the first part of the year because we do have a lot of our waters are closed until we open the season, and then we usually see most of our landings occur in June, July, August, and then sometimes on into September, depending on how much white shrimp's being landed. But we're seeing a lot of good white shrimp being sold at the dock right now. They're selling some small brownies too, but 10-15s is what we're seeing. We go down to the docks once or twice a week just to check, selling them for about $4 or $5 a pound, and the small browns are going for $1 to $2 a pound depending on the count. But there's plenty of shrimp out there. We certainly encourage folks to get out there and buy local shrimp, and they're at Ocean Springs Harbor, Biloxi Harbor, and Pass Harbor. So I'll take any questions if y'all have any. But
Thank you. All right, well, it looks like there's plenty of shrimp, so, go get them while you can, and I tell you what, they're very fresh and they're very good. In snapper season, we're at about 39,000, almost 40,000 pounds, about 64,000, and that's kind of an understanding. It depends on the weather. We had one, and we are working, in case you got any questions, we are working on MS Creel, and MS Creel is going wide open with this, so hopefully we're getting data to be able to alleviate this problem in the near future. Bonnie Carey, you want to give us one, Tracy, on the Bonnie Carey update?
Good morning. I have no change in the numbers for the reporting period since last month. So we're waiting for that ruling from NOAA on how far back we can go to start the processor's grant portion.
And we did file for the 2020.
We did. Within the last week, we submitted that proposal to NOAA.
And that will be for commercial, is it shrimp and oysters only?
Shrimp and oysters, on bottom oysters, and it will be, our plan is a direct payout for that 2.9 million, but also a lesser amount go into culch plants.
Yeah, okay. So that's, and that's for the year 2020 now, not 2019. As we try to explain that, this Bonnie Carey, was for 2019 only, and we can only pay for that year. We can't pay for your losses the year after that or the year before that. We can only pay for your losses in the year of 2019 up to a certain point. And this will be for 2020. We were able to get $3 million more for 2020, and so we'll be able to pay for the losses in 2020 that carried over. Is that right, Tracy?
That's correct, and that's only for those two fisheries, but we will certainly try to help those folks.
Okay. But once again, we're the only state that pays the fishermen, so at least we are getting something to them. Any questions? Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
All right, last thing I got here before we got a couple of other things, but the derelict vessels, 157 of them have been reported, 116 removed, 41 of them are pending removal, and out of those 41, 4 of them have already received a court order. So we're doing a good job with that. And Roy and Stephen are doing a fantastic job working that out. Of the Gulf of Mexico, we're probably 50% better than anybody. Because when you talk to Texas, and you talk to Louisiana, and you talk to Florida, and you talk to Alabama, they know what near the numbers being removed that we've got. So we got a great team doing it. It's fantastic. We would love to. We thank the federal government for giving us the grant and the 1.6 million, so that helped us do that. But we're doing great with it. We thank y'all. Any questions on it? If not, do we need to go to the actions update?
Good morning, Commissioners, Director. Regarding our actions update discussed at the May 2024 meeting, the Commission recommended the Director approve the following motions. A motion to recommend the proposed changes to Title 22, Part 1, to conform with the requirements of the Senate Bill 2648 and House Bill 1007 be sent to the Secretary of State's office for notice of intent. There's also a motion to recommend the final adoption of the changes to Title 22, Part 3, Chapter 7 of the Recreational Bag Possession Size Limit. for the red snapper. And then finally, there was a motion to recommend the following state saltwater finfish record for all tackle, the red grouper being 27 pounds, 0.32 ounces for Mr. Darren Grant. And that is the actions update from the prior meeting.
Motion you gotta make on that? Is there any motion that they need to make?
No, not for that. No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Not necessarily.
All right. Well, if that's, other than that, that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. All right, next up, commissioners report. Any of our commissioners have anything to report today? All right, moving right along. Chief?
Good morning. Before I get started, I'd like to say that I personally knew Donnie Riggs, that's Patrick's uncle. You know, he went away, he went to see the Lord, and this world's a little darker place because he's gone. Please give my condolences. All right, so getting to the report itself, we checked 2,488 vessels during the month of May. I would say probably 3/4 of those are going to be Memorial Day weekend, as it was extremely busy. It was a little windy that weekend. We checked. I would say our compliance rate on checking snapper vessels was 14.25%. We wrote warning citations for the recreational offshore landing permit. That's the new permit that we're not going to write citations until next February. I told the guys, let's ease up on them. We only came across 9 of them. The ones we checked. As of to date, right now, we're at 8.5% compliance rate on the snapper checks. Other than that, the report is pretty self-explanatory, but I will field any questions.
Now, we're only giving them a courtesy warning for that.
Yes, sir. We only do a courtesy warning due to the fact we can document it and keep numbers on it.
And we're, what percentage that we're doing on snapper check?
As of the date, 8.5.
And how much compliant?
We're looking at, we wrote 2 no tails and scales citations through the weekend, the Memorial Day weekend, but as of right now, I haven't checked the numbers, but they're pretty low, so everybody's complying.
The high 90s.
Yes, sir.
That's good. Y'all got a busy summer coming up.
Yes, sir. We're loading up for July.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, moving on down. Next, we have Miss Charmaine, Public Affairs.
Good morning. The Mississippi Department of Marine Resources had 36 media mentions since the May MACMR meeting. News items included MDMR accepting proposals for Go Mesa projects, red snapper and shrimp season openings, and derelict vessels being removed along the Mississippi Gulf Coast. The Office of Marine Patrol took part in Career Day at Beach Elementary School in Pascagoula on May 22nd, the summer reading program at Wool Market Library on June 13th, and a visit to Rainbow Daycare on June 17th. The agency's cooking team, the Mississippi Seafood Program, and agency volunteers participated in the Billfish Classics Captain's Reception on June 5th at the Golden Nugget, where boiled shrimp and fried fish fillets were cooked and served to over 500 guests in attendance. We also provided a promotional booth where we talked with attendees about and distributed informational pieces and promotional materials.
Thank you, Charmaine. All right. So next up, we're going to have Jason Ryder, Marine Fisheries.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jason Ryder. Today we're going to discuss the final adoption for Title 22, Part 1, Rules and Regulations for mollusk and shellfish-related activities to conform with the requirements of Senate Bill 2648 and House Bill 1007. A lot of this information is the same information as last month, so I'll summarize it. If y'all have any questions, let me know, but it will be summarized. So the background, at the May 21st, 2024 Commission meeting, the Advisory Commission recommended to the Executive Director that the changes to Title 22, Part 1 be sent to the Secretary of State's Office for notice of intent. The summary of the changes, we amended the requirements for the tagging of shellfish in accordance to House Bill 1007, added and adjusted language in Chapter 10 according to Senate Bill 2648, added definitions pertaining to Senate Bill 2648, and amended the requirements for on-bottom molluscan shellfish leases according to Senate Bill 2648. In Chapter 2, we updated some definitions. We added adverse pollution conditions and certification or certify. Additionally, we updated some language. We removed some language in our permits and then added some language that states renewal of these permits is required on an annual basis with the expiration occurring on April 30th of each year. Again, this complies with our standard licensing timeline, so we just wanted to get everything standardized. Continuing with definitions, we added container, cultivation, and most probable number. Propagation was added, relay was added, and trip ticket was added to the definitions in Chapter 2. In Chapter 3, we did update some language in there. We added, if applicable, to check stations and the oyster hotline. We stated or other means of notifications. This just allows us to notify people through social media and text messages or other variety of ways. In Chapter 4, we removed some language and then added some language regarding to how the vessels will be checked out at the landing locations. Chapter 5, we did update this substantially to comply with private leaseholders being able to print and produce their own tags. It has to be in accordance with the agency's guidelines, but in here we did designate how they should be printed, the size, and the standardization of all those tags. Again, in Chapter 5, we just indicated some information. It includes the harvester's identification number assigned by the authority, the harvest date, harvest area, type of shellfish, quantity of shellfish, and then the statement that the model ordinance requires. Additionally, we put that the tags must be landed at an approved dock with the tags attached prior to shipment, and tags shall be filled out. And then the last one on this in this chapter was we said that the fasteners could be on the outside of the sack. In Chapter 8, we added some language regarding approved culture material, and then we deleted generally accepted culture materials and added approved culture material in there. Chapter 10, this is regarding the molluscan shellfish leases. We did make some adjustments to this. We removed the four corners statement and then added, if the lease configuration does not have definitive corners, the boundaries must be marked in a manner that clearly identifies the lease area. We did delete D. Continuing with Chapter 10, we added some language regarding private aids to navigation for off-bottom molluscan shellfish. Just requires them to notify the Army Corps of Engineers. For the lease application in Chapter 10, again, we deleted some language from the previous year. Applications are available at the DMR office, and then we updated it. Applications will be available at the NDMR office and on its website, and then the applicants must be a firm, corporation, or shall be organized under the laws and the state of Mississippi, registered with the Secretary of State's office, and owned by a resident of Mississippi, of the state of Mississippi, excuse me. Number 6, we deleted some language just to clean up and standardize things. Continuing with number 7, this is where we deleted the language to comply with the new Senate bill in 2024. We eliminated some things, and then again with the lease application review process, we eliminated some language that was outdated at this time. And we added the qualifications established in Mississippi Code 49-15-27, which was updated in 2024. Continuing with edits to Chapter 10, we have those there. Lease conditions, again, updated some language, deleted some language. We did remove before or after July 1st of each year. The leases are for 15 years. Each application is a minimum for 1 acre, but must not exceed 2,500 acres. And the deleted number 9 and 10. And number 11, we changed from 100 feet to 50 yards. And that's the area between the leases. Chapter 10, we deleted number 5 and number 7 regarding event of defaults and reporting activities. Again, continuing with deletions and updates. So at this point, the notice of the proposed regulation was published in the Sun Herald on May 26, 2024. The notice of the proposed regulation was also posted on the MDMR website on May 23rd, 2024. No public comments were received to date. And at this time, the staff's recommendation is for the recommendation to the executive director that the proposed changes to Title 22, Part 1 be sent to the Secretary of State's office for final adoption. Does anyone have any questions?
Doesn't sound like it. That's a lot of cleaning up.
Yes, we did. We have some work to do. So,
All right, do we have a motion to approve the staff's recommendations? I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. All right, thank you, Jason.
thank you.
Next up is,
Hey, real quick, Jason, now this will go into effect at, as soon as,
It's 30 days from filing. So if we file it today, it'll be 30 days from
so
today.
by next meeting, it'll be in effect.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
all right, Trevor Moncrief, we got some new records.
We got a couple of them. All right, commissioners. So we had a all tackle record. First one's golden topfish. Old record was 20 pounds, 11.68 ounces. The new record is 23 pounds, 3.2 ounces. Angler's Mr. Nathan Bosarge. There is a picture of the fish. And there's Mr. Bosarge with the fish. That picture's a little bit nicer than the one on the board. We also have a permit that came in. It's another all tackle that was speared. Old record was 11 pounds, 0.76 ounces. That new record is 11 pounds, 11.2 ounces, and it's Mr. Mark Kleinpeter. There's a picture of the fish, and there's Mark with the fish. And all we need is a motion to adopt the new state records.
Nice. Any questions? I'll make the motion to adopt state records. All in favor? Aye. Thank you, Trevor. All right, do we have any other business?
Do have one quick thing if I can. Around Memorial Day weekend, we had Omega had a fish spill out there, and I wanted to just tell them thank y'all for what you did. I tell you what, they had a fish spill south of the islands out there, but there was a lot of concerns that it was going to get into the islands and get into anything else, and some mid-Hayden's fish, but they was out there, they was flying it, they were working it, they was on top of it, and I just want to thank y'all. I just want to thank you for what you did there because you did a great job. You can't help when you have a mistake, it's things that happen. But the way that y'all responded to it really meant a lot to the Gulf Coast. And there was a lot of people like, well, we're going to have fish washing up on the bank. We're going to have this, but it did not happen. Patrick was all over it, and we were working it, and Marine Patrol. But because of y'all were able to work it, and you had airplanes in the air, you had boats out there, you were ready to do anything. So that just tells you what kind of response we get from them if they do have an issue. So I just wanted to make that public about we thank you for it, okay? One other thing, Crystal's action was an auction. And in other words, my eyeballs didn't read it right. And so the May 22nd auction closed. That's what she was trying to tell me. And that auction, we raised a little over $170,000. So that was pretty good. So it was Crystal's auction, not action.
All right, did we have any public comments turned in?
No, I don't think so. Any public comments from?
All right, well, that was short and sweet. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to.
First, second,
That'll work.
everybody have a great week. Meeting adjourned.